So I thought I'd record a couple of my indie perfume empties because I think it's kind of interesting. They're really, really hard to get through because they tend to be oil based. And I know for sure I have more than these, especially in the slink slash vial shape. But for now, let's talk about these three. From left to right, there are two decants and one partial. The first decant is a Possets one from RA Decantery, and it's Buttermilk Pie. Likely I received it in a zero point 0.5 ml. Buttermilk Pie is described as, with no redeeming characteristics whatsoever, beside the fact that it is heaven on a plate. Buttermilk pie is just divinely delicious buttermilk, butter, sugar, and the most perfect pie crust which has ever been made. Simple, delicate, and scrumptious. If you're from the South, you will know how good this is. If you aren't familiar with buttermilk pie, try this. You won't forget it. So I haven't tried buttermilk pie, the real authentic food ever in my life. However, I have tried Posset's pippin pie, which is an apple pie based scent, and I prefer pippin pie. I think the pie crust in pippin pie is better balanced. It's contrasted with a bit of a caramelly texture. Buttermilk pie is very creamy and dense and golden delicious. However, I'd say that the butter almost smells like a whipped butter that's low fat somehow. So I think it's a little lacking in there. I'm not sure how accurate the scent is, and it is quite nice, but I think as a solo scent, it doesn't quite appeal to me. So I only ever got a zero point 0.5 ml decant of it. I've used it up. It's really comfy, really cozy, but not my favorite. I prefer Pippin Pie, and Pippin Pie I find a little difficult to wear as well because it is so strongly apple pie, and the apple is quite intense. So I think somewhere between the two is the ideal medium for me. But again, buttermilk pie has this weird creamy but low fat overtone that I find I don't quite love. So I'm not sure that would actually merge quite well. Nonetheless, it's used up. There is always a tiny amount left in oil containers just because of the texture. So I'll keep it as a scent reference for the rest of the year. Next to that in the middle is a very worn out label that says Poesie Lagniappe 10 or Lagniappe X. I received this as a decant after one of Posey's retours, I believe in 2023 or 2024, and I received 2 mils of it, and I likely received a little more than 2 mils. Lagniappe 10 is described as creamy vanilla custard, golden amber, fragrant vanilla pods soaked in fine cognac, a plume of church incense, rich sandalwood, curls of dark chocolate, marshmallows, organic cardamom, and warm pink peppercorn. I mostly get the amber vanilla aspects, which with a touch of alcoholic aspects. I do not smell very much church incense, and neither do I get much of the marshmallows. However, I have noticed as I work throughout the bottle that it's becoming increasingly sweet, and I do believe Posey's marshmallow slash vanilla scent tends to settle out. So I think this may actually not have been a perfect representation because unless I know for sure the decanter shook it up before decanting, it's possible I got a misbalance aspect of it. Nonetheless, it's a really lovely scent, and I wore it mostly to bed for the cozy vibes because I don't feel like it had actually like a ton of personality. So I didn't feel like I had a distinct mood or anything. It was just very, very comfy and cozy. I would repurchase it as perhaps a sleep scent, specifically for winter months when I'm not feeling some of their other scents. However, Posie is rebranded recently, and I have not loved what they've done, partly with the price increases, which are not too bad, but the format of their bottles, of their full sizes, has changed dramatically. And I'm not sure how that's going to affect retours in the future either, where I think I'm still waiting on them to provide an update about how their retours are doing. But in the meantime, they seem to be, trying to find themselves. So I don't plan on buying from them until they stabilize. And the last one to the right is Nui Cobalt Designs Snuggle by the Fire. This is a 3 mil out of 5 mil partial that I received from HFE Decants. And the scent is described as the harmonic dichotomy of winter's chill and the warmth of home. Smoldering hickory wood, fuzzy fir accord, ginger root, white and black peppercorn, coriander, rooibos, white grapefruit, and snow-covered cedars. I don't get any of the last three notes that it claims to have, rooibos, white grapefruit, and snow-covered cedars, But I really, really like the ginger scent that Nuit Cobalt design has. And in this particular aspect, it's a very warm, fiery ginger that's like nestled in a wood burning background. And I've liked a lot of their other scents with ginger as well and with wood. I don't detect what their fuzzy fir accord is independently, and there is a touch of spice and a bit of kick that potentially could be the coriander. And I have also enjoyed a lot of their scents with coriander. So if you like this scent, you might like a few of other scents they have that include ginger and coriander. I find them really, really punchy and really sharp in a very pleasant way. And in this particular scent, it's done against a contrast of warmth in the background. So I think their description is quite good here, right? The harmonic dichotomy of winter's chill and the warmth of home. Again, I don't get that snow-covered cedar scent nor the white grapefruit, which presumably are the chill aspects. However, coriander is a colder scent to me. It's very sharp, very electric, as is ginger. Depending on how you read them, they can also be warm, but I really like their contrast against that warm, cozy wood, and it almost feels like there's a fabric note in there that they have a lot. It's not their silk note, but more of like a heavy weight wool. Anyways, so these are three of the empties that I could find at the moment. There will be a few more, no doubt, but I think I'm gonna keep all these in a container and see what I do with them. So for reference, Buttermilk Pie, I'm not going to be repurchasing. Lagniappe 10, I may repurchase. I'm not in a rush to do so. And Snuggle by the Fire, I actually own a second bottle of already that I'm working through steadily. It is a wonderful favorite for the evenings when I feel like snuggling by the fire.